Okay, should be recording now. What's going on, guys? So it's Wednesday, about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm just about to train arms, but I thought that before I get in there and start training, I'd just kind of fill you in on how the day's kind of gone. So started off as usual, just a normal Wednesday. I had an appointment booked with the dermatologist today, a follow-up appointment to basically review the blood results, or not the blood results, sorry, the test results, the lab results. She sent a sample of the infection away to kind of determine what the underlying cause was. Turns out there's two different kinds of germs, or bacteria I should say. One of them is responding to the antibiotics, the oral antibiotics, but the other one isn't. So they decided it was in my best interest to get intravenous antibiotics. So yeah, $800 later for 1 day's visit. I've still got to go back tomorrow and the following day and pay the same fee again each day. But yeah, $800 later, I've gotten my first IV drip of antibiotics, and that was an experience, but it ended up chewing up my entire day. I literally only got home about 7:30, had something to eat, and I basically come straight to the gym. I still need to do check-ins today for the day. I wanted to do them today, but I just couldn't, obviously, for obvious reasons. I wasn't expecting to stay in the hospital for several hours, but it is what it is. And tomorrow, now that I know, I'm going to be aware, and I'm going to try take my laptop with me tomorrow and Friday as well, and do my check-ins there while I'm basically hooked up to the IV drip. But yeah, today it wasn't really possible. I didn't know in advance, so yeah, I had no inclination that was going to be the case. But I'll still smash those out. I'll get those done once I get home, but I figured I'd train first because the gym isn't 24 hours. If it was, I'd prioritise work first and then train after, but due to the fact that the gym does close at like 11 p.m, I wanted to just get this out first, because I know if I did work first, the gym would be closed by the time I finish work. So if I do it the other way around, even though in my mind it's not ideal, like I don't want to put training before work, I'm going to just have to do it today just so I can actually box everything off still. So yeah, I'll mix up my EAAs essentially and down my energy drink and get on in there, train. Seeing as it's arms, it's probably a blessing in disguise, because it means that my session's not going to really take that long. Arm training, like if your arm session takes over an hour, you're probably fucking around, let's just be completely honest. So it'll be a pretty quick session, I think. And then I'll be able to just basically get home, shower and smash out work, and hopefully get to bed by 3 a.m. to repeat the whole process all over again tomorrow. But tomorrow I'll take food with me to the hospital, I'll take my laptop, my work bag, that sort of thing, and I'll be able to kind of set myself up there for the few hours that I'll be there. But yeah, that's pretty much life as of the last 24 hours since the previous video. Apologies for the audio not working in the last video too, guys. I must have gone full retard there and just forgotten to I'm getting this everywhere. Forgotten to, what the fuck was I going to say? Forgotten to turn the receiver on. So I think the actual microphone attached to me was on, but the receiver was off. So it's the reason why there was no audio recorded, but it is what it is. And now the EAAs are ready to rock and roll. It's time to hit the gym. Now, usually I start off with calves, as you'd be aware if you watch my previous arm videos. But because of the nature of today and the fact that I am quite behind the 8 ball, I'm going to probably skip calves entirely, but I'm at least going to just skip them from the start of my session. So if I do end up doing them, it'll be because I think I've got a bit of time to spare at the end of the training session, and I'll just tag them on the very end. But if not, I'll just skip calves entirely today, just so I can kind of speed up and increase the overall efficiency of the training session, basically. So yeah, I'll do a warm-up set on this, and then I'll jump up to the working weight and smash out the 3 working sets. Again, the warm-up set, I'm kind of really just focusing on just feeling out the movement, so I'm not really concerned with how many reps I do or anything like that. As long as I get a bit of blood flow there and everything feels pretty good, I'm pretty happy to just end the warm-up set wherever that is. And today that is 9 reps. It's plate number 12 that I did last week. So I went up, increased the load last week. So aiming for the middle, lower end of the rep range. That's kind of where I felt last week. Oh yeah, go for it, bro. Yeah. So I'll do probably, I got 15 reps on the first set, then I got 14, 13 last week. So if I can go 15, 13 or 15, 14, that'll be a PB. So yeah. Obviously a little bit in the tank there, but the aim of the game is never to go to failure on the first set because you're just going to compromise the quality of your second set and your third set. So yeah, a little bit in the tank. If you go 1 to 2 reps in reserve on your first set, by the time you get to your third set, you will be hitting failure. So there's no need to go to failure on the first set. That's the way I see it. Before I do set number 2, I thought I'd try and explain a little bit more as to the reason why going to failure on your first set isn't really ideal. It's kind of filling up a cup. Say that you've got a marker on a cup. Say it's 70% of the way up from the bottom of the cup. You've got this little line marked on the side of the cup. And in order for muscle growth to be achieved, in order to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, you need to, say for example, fill the cup to 70% to that marker. You can view going to 70% as 3 reps in reserve, for example. And so if you go to 70%, you fill the cup up, you're gonna elicit a hypertrophic response with your training. But if you go more, you're not really eliciting more growth. It's you hit the quota, and then anything more is just, it's not bad, but it's unnecessary. And it could have the potential to bite you in the ass. If you go too hard, if you go too failure, you can almost visualize or think of it as the cup is fucking overflowing. And if you do that, you're basically just gonna fuck your fatigue, if that makes sense. Fuck your recovery, I mean. You're gonna cause too much fatigue. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, hopefully that visual representation helps a little bit, and I suppose just conceptualizing what I'm trying to say. But you don't get brownie points for going to failure. I can understand or see the logic and rationale in, say, the week before a deload, just going balls to the walls, because you're gonna have a week where you can just have that additional recovery. So going to failure or slightly beyond failure with forced reps, lengthened partials, might be justifiable in that instance, but not if you're literally doing your first work instead of I don't know, a cluster of 3 or 4 sets. That's just fucking dumb. 15. So in order to be ahead of last week, all I have to do for the third set now is just match what I got last week, which should be pretty easy and straightforward. No way I was sitting a PB on that set. So we've already done one work instead of these, 2 more to go. But I figured I'd just explain what my main focus is here, if this is your first time watching my videos. So it's not to fully extend and lock out at the elbow. Tricep extension or elbow extension isn't like my main priority here. It's more loading the tricep under a full stretch. So you'll see I'll cut the reps a little bit short from lockout, but that's intentional. That's to just keep constant time under tension and not really give the triceps any kind of chance of a break. Now, instead of doing the usual tricep kickbacks, I'm just going to do a little bit more lengthened tricep work. Just because in terms of the heads of my triceps, I think the the long head could be brought up a little bit more. And the long head's a lot more active when the shoulder is basically in flexion or in a flex position. So I should say when the humerus is in a flex position at the shoulder joint. So just kind of like overhead position, that's going to really help, I suppose, prioritize the involvement of the long head of the tricep in the movement. So yeah. Actually forgot how much I like these EAAs, the Gorilla Mode ones, or Gorilla Mind. I can never remember if it's Gorilla Mode or Gorilla Mind, like the actual name of the company. Because one's like the name of the company, the other one's the name of a line of products that the company makes. It's confusing as hell. But yeah, I like the EAAs, that's what I'm trying to say. So another set of these and then time to start biceps. Got, what was it, 15 on those first 2 sets. So, I mean, I see no reason why I couldn't get at the very least 14 on this, but we'll see how things go. But I really like this kind of equipment, what is it, Flex Fitness. So it's Star Track equipment, but it's created by Flex Fitness to my knowledge. Good quality equipment, that's for sure. Just like they don't make machines like they used to anymore. All these new companies that are coming out, half of them are garbage. Occasionally, once in a blue moon, you get a good quality like company making good quality, decent gym equipment, but so many gyms these days just get rid of the good quality old-fashioned machines and replace it so they can have uniform junk essentially. Might be newer, but it's still junk. Like even hammer strength, like the newer hammer strength stuff just isn't as good as the older stuff. So I do like the fact that this gym has a lot of the original pieces of hammer strength, not the later iterations or the later revisions of it. It's just got, yeah, character. And that's just something that you don't really get in big box gyms, unfortunately. They tend to just sell all the good equipment because it's getting old, but this gym's got an array of good equipment. Hopefully they never get rid of it. Time for biceps. Alrighty. Reunited with my favourite Preacher Club machine. And it wasn't sarcasm, by the way. I actually really like this machine, this brand. I don't know what their other equipment's like, but their Preacher Club is really good. Usually you have to kind of like fish around though, because every gym manufacturer I find has a few gems and the rest of their equipment's usually average. Some brands under you like pretty much nail everything on the head, but these ones are kind of like cheaper companies. They tend to have some good machines and other ones just aren't as great, but I really like this one, I really do. Let's see what I hit last week to know what the benchmark is. So 65 kilo for 3 sets of 13 was my working sets. So I'll do a warm up with about 30, 40 kilo, get some blood in the muscle, and then do my working sets. Forearm's feeling a little bit tight today and it's kind of like pulling on the bicep, so I'll just have to be mindful of that. Always kind of listen to your body when you're training, because sometimes you just won't feel up to it to kind of push as much as you usually would. And I mean, in those warm-up sets, they're your opportunities to kind of get some feedback from your body and listen to what it's saying. Not literally, but figuratively, if you get what I mean. Because the body will tell you a lot if you just focus on being present in the moment with what you're doing in the gym. If you control the movement, if you are executing with intent and focusing on how it feels at every point through the range of motion, you'll kind of be able to gauge what feels a bit off, and you can troubleshoot it then. So it's like, treat your sets, your working sets, as like the like gold standard of what we're focusing on, but treat your warm-up sets just as important, but in another way, in the sense that you're using them to troubleshoot the movement that you're about to load up and do working sets on. And if something isn't feeling good, play around with it a bit until it feels good, or just be a bit more conservative in that session. Right. Because today isn't feeling too crash hot, I'm not going to aim to hit a PB on this. I'm just going to aim to match my reps from last week, and I'll accept that as a win and a decent session. 2 more of these and then on to the next movement. But because I did switch it recently, it'll be incline dumbbell curls instead of Bayesian curls, just because of where that new cable station is located, or not new station, where that cable station is now located compared to where it used to be. It's not on level floor anymore, and it makes it feel a little bit off balance. When you're performing it, you feel like you're loading one arm more than the other. So yeah, 2 more of this and then incline dumbbell curls, and if I've got time, the usual machine hammer curls. Oh God. One to go. Quickly log that, because my memory is not doing me any favors today. If I don't write it down now, the only way I'll know how many reps I did is if I rewatch this video clip. So might as well write it down before it happens. Yeah, these are actually feeling pretty shit today, I'm not gonna lie. Well, not pretty shit, they feel really shit. But in saying that, if I reflect on my day, do a full audit of my day, have I ticked all the boxes that I could have ticked? Fuck no, definitely not. It's been a shit fight of a day. That hospital visit threw a massive spanner in the works, and I missed 2 meals. Didn't have any water really to drink because the room service was terrible there. I ordered Coke Zero, Coke Zero, at the start of the hospital visit, like when I first got admitted to my room, which I was at for 3 hours, and an hour had passed by, the room service still hadn't delivered the Coke Zero. So ordering a water, I mean, I would have just been waiting just as long. But yeah, dehydrated, underfed for the day, so performance isn't going to be as good as it normally would be. I just got to accept that on the head and acknowledge that even though some variables were outside of my control, I still got to take onus for it, and it is my fault at the end of the day. Like, I should have preempted that staying at the hospital would have been a possibility. Like, technically I had no way of doing it, but I like to take ownership, and something that I learned from reading a book called the 10x, I think it's the 10x theory or something like that. It's Grant Cardone's book. I can't remember the full title of the book, but he talks about how you should take ownership even for the things that aren't on you, if that makes sense, even for the things that you shouldn't take onus for. And that way you take back more control of your life. Because the less things that you take ownership for in your life, the less in control of your life you are, essentially. And it does make sense. So if you can learn or find a way to kind of take full responsibility for everything that is your fault, and even things that might not potentially be your fault that happen to you in life, because that's just what happens with life, then you're going to have a higher level of self-control and a higher level of control over, well, your life in general. It doesn't feel good, it hurts the ego, but I think it's really important to learn to kind of develop that ability to kind of recognize the part that you play in every little thing. Like an example he uses in the book is going on a flight and then getting sick from somebody who's on the flight and who's sick. Like, it's your fault because you decided to catch the plane. Yeah, sure, like technically it's not, but if you say it's your fault, you're taking more responsibility for your life and the actions that you followed through with, and you're not kind of diverting the blame on somebody else or something else, because that will limit your control essentially at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know if that's making any sense. Pretty fucking tired right now, so my ability to, I suppose, verbally convey what I'm trying to say is pretty shot. Look out, boys and girls, we've got the grunter in the gym again tonight. I swear he fucking grunts from the first rep of his first fucking warm-up set. It's embarrassing. If I was his parents, I would be so fucking disappointed. Just playing it a little bit more conservative tonight, just because, like I said, my bicep felt a little bit funny on the preachers. So instead of going like 1 rep from failure, I'll go like maybe about 2-ish, maybe 2 to 3. Still enough stimulus to elicit like a hypertrophic response that we're looking for, but not enough to jeopardize or make things worse, in my opinion. Now you're just gonna have to take my word for it that I did do a second set, but the battery died halfway through recording, so the file's corrupt. I had to reformat the SD card and it deleted that clip, so this is set number 3, final set of incline dumbbell curls. Then it'll be on to the next exercise, which I was saying in the other video that the second set that got corrupted and had to be deleted, that I might swap the hammer curls with a spider curl, just because in a preacher curl, what I did before, even though it hits the bicep in a more shortened position than say a dumbbell incline curl does, like in terms of the force profile, it's still not quite that good. To really hit the bicep in a peak contraction, I think a high set cable curl, or not a Bayesian curl, a potty curl or a dumbbell spider curl is the way to go. So I'll be doing one of those 3 after, I think, instead of the hammer curls that I usually do. All right, spider curls it is. So doing it on the spider curl bench as opposed to on a incline bench. And I think if you have one of these, if you have access to one of these, it's definitely superior to an incline bench because you're getting a more controlled form of a spider curl. Your arms can't kind of swing back and forward as they can on an incline bench. It's actually load the biceps up more directly, in my opinion. And these creep up on you. I always know to play a little bit conservative on the first set because before you know it, you're eating shit. Seriously, like these are really deceiving. Like a weight that'll feel sub-maximal on set one, if you do it correctly, will be a challenge on the next set. I'll tell you that. so glad I'm getting out of here now. That guy grunting is annoying the fuck out of me.